Hey everyone, it's Rex Crafter here. Decided to start a new series, partially because I'm going on, I'm going to be leaving for a little bit because of Christmas, so I won't be able to record much ARC stuff, and that requires a lot of editing. So I figured I'd start a Starcraft series and kind of have that uploading while I'm gone. Starcraft is a really fun game that I love. This is actually Starcraft Remastered, not the original Starcraft, as you can probably tell. But it's the same basic storyline, the same basic plot. So yeah, I figure I'm going to start this series. So let's go ahead and hop on in here to original and start episode 1. So let's go here. I actually had played 2 levels and then realized that my audio was messed up again, so I had to redo it. So we'll start over here. Terran Campaign, Rebel Yell. In the decades since the end of the Guild Wars, the oppressive Terran Confederacy has stood unchallenged in its supremacy over colonized space. All of that changed 4 days ago when a large alien fleet emerged from warp space and laid waste to the unsuspecting Confederate colony of Chowsara. The Confederacy, fearing that the alien fleet's next target will be the colony of Marsara, has sent you to intervene. Acting as magistrate, you are to safeguard the colonists and keep their states of panic from escalating any further. Boot Camp, Office of the Colonial Magistrate.
Welcome to Marsara, Magistrate. The equipment demonstration you requested is prepared and may be initiated at your convenience. Simply select Start to begin the demonstration. You may skip the demonstration by selecting Skip Tutorial.
Alright. Let's get into it, guys. So, in case you didn't know, StarCraft...
The SCV is the cornerstone of our hostile environment construction and resource gathering operations.
Roger that.
In order to build a thriving colony, numerous SCVs are necessary. You can build additional SCVs at a command center.
So this game is what's called an RTS, a real-time strategy game.
SCV good to
Additional
go.
supply depots required.
Report for duty.
So basically, you command a whole ton of units, build structures, upgrade your units, and go and fight and destroy. So with this game, your basic, at least for this race, the basic building unit or whatnot is this SCV. And SCVs, so something to move your units in this game, like you basically select them with left click, and then to get them to go somewhere, you can either hit M and then click, or you can just right click and it'll go place. With SCVs, with right click, if you click on these minerals, these resources right here, they'll start collecting the minerals naturally. Now down here, you may notice I've got my Marines all kind of bunched up. So what I did right at the beginning is I actually selected maximum amount. So right here, this is the maximum amount of units you can select at one time. And then I hotkeyed them. And to do that, you select a unit or group of units.
You must have enough supply depots to support them. You can use SCVs to build additional supply depots.
So I'm just going to adjust volume right there. Alright, so to select such a large group, you can left click, select each individual, and if you hit shift and left click, it will select, or not shift left click, if you double left click, it'll select the max amount of units that you can of that particular type. Now, let's go ahead and move these guys up here. You can also select an area by left click and dragging. So I've just selected a whole ton of Marines and this SCV, but say I don't want to have that SCV in my grouping. As you see right there, I can shift click to deselect that particular unit. Now, so these 12 Marines, what I did is I hit control and then I hit number 1. So now whenever I hit the number 1 button, these Marines automatically are selected and I can operate with them. And then this other group right here, I selected number 2, and now I have them following. Basically, if you have extra units like this, you can right click on a unit in your other grouping and they'll follow that grouping around. So now I'm going to have to go, I just hit A. Alright, he's going to explain right here.
send us into hostile territory, and you want us to defend ourselves, then use the attack command. But if you want us to ignore enemy fire and go exactly to the spot you targeted, then use the move command. Now, which'll it be?
Alright, so as he's explaining there, this is movement. But if you see an enemy like this guy, you can right-click on the enemy, and your units will move to attack that. So you can right-click on an enemy, or you can right-click on an enemy structure, and your units will either move to attack that. Now, if you want them to move to an area and defend themselves while doing that, you hit A and then left-click the area you want. So I'm gonna have those guys move down over there. Now let's go back over here to our base. So in each of these RTS games, you generally have a population cap. Can be seen right up here. Right now it's 18, so I can have maximum of 18 units. So let's build another supply depot.
Your forces
That
are
right
under
there.
attack.
Standing by.
Oh boy, I lost a unit there that I didn't want to.
Jacked up and good to go.
Whoop. Wrong button. Sorry about that, guys. Alright. So, these guys up here are now building more population structures.
Good to go, sir.
So this guy's actually getting built because we lost one unit
Right
unintentionally.
away, sir.
So, you want to collect resources and basically build more structures so that you can build more units. Now, we won't get into the building units in this level because that's not our objective.
Rock and
Let's go ahead and send our guys around over here. Just go exploring the map.
let's move.
Alright. So I just hit spacebar so I can go center on that source of transmission. Let's feel like I finished. So let's send them over here.
Yes,
Send
sir.
them over here. So this is one of the RTS games I play. I actually play quite a lot of them. I have the first ever actual video game I ever remember playing was an RTS game. It was actually Warcraft 2. Which, so if you're unfamiliar with the Warcraft series, I'll just explain that real quick.
SCV, good to go, sir.
The Warcraft series basically was, it started with Warcraft Orcs and Humans. It was released by a game development company called Blizzard, and it came out in the 90s. And so the first one, Warcraft Orcs and Humans, then you had the second one, Warcraft 2, I think it was Tides of Darkness, then you have Warcraft 2, Beyond the Dark Portal, then you get into Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos, Warcraft 3, the Frozen Throne, and then you have Warcraft 3, well then you move on to World of Warcraft. So Warcraft series is actually the precursor series to World of Warcraft, if you guys didn't know. So Warcraft 2 was the first game I remember playing. I think it was like 7 or 8 when I started playing it. Let's go ahead and let's go up here.
Yes, sir.
And let's see, let's check our objectives. Build 3 supply depots, build a refinery, gather investment gas. Alright, so let's get this guy building a refinery. So, in each RTS game there's usually a resource, in this case, best being gas, that you have to build a structure in order to collect. These ones you can just collect raw with no help, you just need a basic drone. These you gotta have some sort of structure. So that's what he's building right there. So I started playing Warcraft 2 when I was like 7 or 8, and then I started playing Starcraft because the series of Blizzard, when they released Starcraft and Warcraft, actually by the same people, they released Warcraft 2, then they did Starcraft, and then they did Warcraft 3. So then I started playing Starcraft, and I beat Starcraft,
Yes, sir.
and then I moved on to Warcraft 3.
The refinery processes raw Vespene gas, converting it into a form which your SCVs can gather.
Then after that, I think it was about a year and a half ago, I bought StarCraft 2. No, about a year ago I bought StarCraft 2, which was lots of fun. So I figured I'd play through the StarCraft series with you guys. Once we're done with StarCraft and StarCraft Brood War, which is its expansion, we'll move on to
SCV, good to
StarCraft 2 and all of their expansions, which I think will be lots of fun. But maybe we'll get into the Warcraft series. Well, the only other Warcraft series that you'll ever see me play is a... Sorry about that, folks. I have a sneeze. The only Warcraft game series that's going to play is Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3, because Warcraft Orcs and Humans you can't actually play
Yes, sir.
anymore, simply because it
Give me some
runs
to
on
shoot.
DOS, which was the precursor to Windows, and so you have to run a DOS-box emulator,
Let's move.
and so I'm not sure if I'd actually be able to record that or not. Might give it a go, though. So Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, you'll see me record. Warcraft 3, I'll probably play the remastered version with you guys. I won't play the original, but I'll play the remastered just as I'm doing here with Starcraft. So yeah, so this Vespene in particular, you can only have like 3 units going
This
collecting from
concludes
it.
the equipment
maximum.
demonstration. There will now be a fully catered reception at Marsara Base. Your forces are under attack.
So yeah, there's only 3 units that you can have going collecting Vespene at a time, simply as a way to keep it in check, and so that way you don't have like a massive boom of resources and keeps the gameplay at a steady level. So this is kind of a cool little end screen. You can go and you can see how you did compared to your enemies and other players. Probably won't spend too much on that. Alright, so let's go to next level. Wasteland. Office of the Colonial Magistrate.
Adjutant online. Good evening, Magistrate. I'll fill you in on what's been happening. Confederate traffic has increased substantially within the system due to the recent Protoss destruction of the Chao Sara colony. The Confederates have tightened security on all outlying systems, and it's likely that this colony will be locked down as well. An encrypted Confederate transmission came for you while you were at dinner. Replaying transmission.
Greetings, Magistrate. I'm General Edmund Duke of the Confederate Security Forces Alpha Squadron. The Confederacy has quarantined this entire planet, and we'll proceed with a lockdown within 48 hours. You're to relocate your core colonists to the outlying wastelands. Now, I know there won't be any problems with these new arrangements.
Transmission ended. I have contacted the local marshal, James Rayner. Rayner has agreed to meet your personnel en route and escort them to the new wasteland site.
Alright. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's select
Jacked up and good to go.
Marines, hotkey them,
I read you.
select all my SCVs and hotkey them. Just hit my
Outstanding.
Marines
Can't
going
believe we're
along
being
here.
sent to the wasteland. These Confederates think they can push anybody around.
I'm still gonna turn that music down, it still seems really loud. Let's see, right about there should do it.
Give me something to shoot.
Yes, sir.
Commander, let's move.
Orders, Captain.
Jacked up and good to go.
Reporting for duty.
And let's
Give me
right down
something to
there.
shoot.
It's Raynor. Sweet.
Howdy, boys. I'm Jim Rayner, marshal of these parts.
Jacked
Alright,
up and
cool.
good
So
to
now
go.
we've just met
Anytime
Rayner.
you're ready.
Alright. So let's see our mission objectives. Build a barracks, train 10 Marines. Rayner must survive.
Go ahead, Commander.
Alright, so my plan for this series, just an FYI, is I don't think I'm going to really edit any of
Sir. Roger
the
that.
episodes of StarCraft, because I think they're interesting enough and engaging enough that you can watch the full thing. So the episodes will be different times. I may just do... It's going to get to the point where it'll be 1 campaign level per episode, simply because of how long they'll be and how long they'll take me. This first episode, I'm going to do these 2 campaign levels, and then I'll probably call that good. And the second one, I might do another 2 campaign levels, simply because the levels are a little bit shorter. But so this first one will just stay the way it is. So let's go ahead and get some more SCVs trained up, just so that we can get this going faster. What I like to do is I like to get an even number of SCVs harvesting crystals or minerals, and then I'll have a couple SCVs that I'll use specifically for building and repairing structures. So I think it's best not to pull SCVs from your resource harvesting,
Orders received.
so as not to get yourself kind of in a bind early on. So let's go ahead and let's just give it a second here. So each load of crystals is 8. And then each load of Vespene gas, which you won't see here simply because we don't have Vespene gas available to us, is 10. So each SCV represents 8 going back and forth. So now I think we're going to wait to get that going. Let's maybe explore just a little bit over here. See what's going on around the town. See if we have any neighbors or things like that. Well, looks like we do. Alright, so let's wait for Raynor to get over there. Alright. And let's go. Alright, yep. I figured they wouldn't die. Let's go ahead and let's get a barracks built here. One more crystal roll. Come on. There we go. Alright, first barracks. And so unit buildings, you can actually have this thing where you set a rally point. So I'm going to do that now. And when you set a rally point, that basically means when units get trained, they go there. Just that you don't, and otherwise they just sit there and they'll clutter up around the structure. So I like to usually set rally points for my units and things like that. Oh. Sorry, that was my alarm clock, folks. Completely forgot that was on. Let's see, let's go ahead and build another unit thing. That went off because normally at this time I have be taking a nap before work. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's get these built up. Alright, just waiting for the resources to gather. Let's see how many. Got 5. Ooh, okay, we need 1 more. Alright, let's send our guys, send our folks exploring a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Alright, looks like there's some more enemies right there. I know what those guys are, but you don't find out what they are yet until a little bit later on, so I'm going to stay quiet on so sorry. Send it over there. Bring them over here.
Infantry units such as Marines can be trained at this facility.
Alright, so infantry units can be trained at the barracks. Let's go ahead and get 2 trained up. And let's get another... Let's get a 3rd one. Sweet.
Raynor here.
So you guys can see, here's my resource cost up here. And it'll say next to each unit how much it costs and its population damage, like how much population it'll take up. And you also notice how there's the yellow letter next to it. That yellow letter is the hotkey. So for Marines, the hotkey is M. So I can usually just select a barracks and hit M how many times I want to be able to train whatever number of units I'd like. Let's go ahead and bring these guys back over here. And it's the same thing as well with SCVs and building. So build structure is B, and then each structure has its own unique little hotkey, which makes it nice as you go further and further into the game. Let's go ahead and select him. So to add units to a hotkey, you just shift click and then you redo the control and the number that you want them to be. So this process, I shift clicked at that guy and then I hit control 1, and now he appears in my number 1 hotkey. Let's see, so I think alright, like that. So we're just gonna need 2 more.
Anytime you're ready. This should be good.
So if you guys can see here, this is land that we can't see above yet because it's too high of an elevation. So it's like because of fog of war and things like that. So we have no idea if there's units over here. We can't see. If somebody were to bring units through here, I wouldn't be able to see. I can only see in this visibility. It's kind of called fog of war.
This is Jimmy.
Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to save the game. So let's go RXC, short for Rex Crafter, Terran. Cool. So now I'm going to save it. It's just, you'll probably see me save these off and on throughout levels. It's just a smart thing to save your game as you go along. But I'll save it that way we can be able to pick up in case something happens, which it rarely does with the remastered. The old game used to crash a lot more. All right, sweet. There we go. Victory. All right, guys. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this first episode of StarCraft. I'll definitely get another one recorded, and we'll get some going while I'm away on Christmas. So it'll be about a week before. Well, it'll be a week from the last Arc episode before you get to see another Arc episode because of that. But thanks, guys, for joining me. Make sure to have a fun time in life, be safe in your endeavors, and do good unto others. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate some comments. Alright, guys, see you later.